Okay, for 2016, Triumph introduced the new T120 Bonneville, but they also introduced a new Thruxton. They've got the standard model Thruxton, and they've got the Thruxton R. Now, both of these have been accessorized to some degree, so they're not just the stock model. This R model has this, beautiful fairing on it. This thing's really cool, and it's an accessory option. Seeing it in person, I would recommend getting one because it's just so badass. The standard Thruxton over here has this little fly screen on it, which is an accessory also, but also very cool. The big difference between the two models, the standard model is going to have your regular suspension and Nissan brakes. On the R model, you're going to pick up a Showa front end and Öhlins shocks with Brembo calipers. So 12.5 for the standard model, 14.5 for the R model. Now the engine is in the same state of tune, so there's no advantage there. It's just, better suspension, better brakes on the R. Now before, the old Thruxtons were just a warmed over Bonneville. Not so with these guys. Their engine is a higher state of tune. It revs 500 RPM higher, puts out more horsepower, puts out more torque. There's also a difference in the electronics on here. On the standard T120, you had rain and road. You pick up a sport mode for the Thruxton. Now again, that doesn't change the power output, it changes just your throttle application. The sport's going to give it to you a lot quicker, a lot sooner than what the road setting does. Like with the T120 Bonnevilles, the big thing here with the Thruxton is going to be the attention to detail. They did some really cool stuff. You'll notice like this brushed aluminum cap. It does open, there's a locking cap underneath it. But gorgeous in its simplicity. It looks like something original from 1950s, 1960s. They did a nice triple tree up here. Is polished, stock. That's not an accessory. That's the way it comes. Both the brake and the clutch levers are adjustable. This one, does not have heated grips on it like the Bonneville comes with standard. That is an option. I think cruise control is probably an option on these as well. They do come with the aluminum wheels, so lighter aluminum wheels compared to the ones on the standard Bonneville. Now it's also a shorter swing arm, shorter wheelbase, and steeper rake. So where the Bonneville with its 18-inch front wheel and a little heavier, a little longer, it's a little bit more about stability. It handles very nicely, but jumping off of that bike directly onto the Thruxton is a world of difference. This thing with 17-inch wheels, front and rear, is just eager to go through corners. It handles very well. The R model comes with some nice Pirelli Alpha tires, sticky stuff. It's actually too bad. Estoril is just a few miles right down the road, and man, it would have been great to actually take this out on the track today with some leathers and put a knee down, and I think that would have been awesome for showing what this Thruxton is capable of doing. Out on the roads here today, we did some nice tight twisty stuff up in the hills, and it handles so well. It's much more capable than what the old Thruxton was. Where the old Bonnevilles or Thruxton frames would kind of like, get a little bit squirrely. The new chassis on these guys, really is meant to be put through the paces like a real sport bike should. And that was part of what Triumph wanted to do with these bikes, was not just kind of have a warmed over Bonneville with the Thruxton name on it. They really wanted to provide something that was relevant to what the Thruxton name meant in the past, and it was a race bike winner in the past. I'm not sure what races this might win nowadays, but I think they have the Thruxton Cup, of course it's going to win that. It's a really cool modern day iteration of a classic race thoroughbred. Some of the other cool little detail work that Triumph did on this, they've got this nice, tank strap up here. As on the Bonneville, they did a really cool job disguising EFI that looks like some old Amel carburetors. Really cool stuff there. It's got rear sets on it, upswept, reverse megaphone pipes, and some clip-on bars up here. Even with the rear sets and the clip-ons actually have probably an 1.5 inch rise to them, and the seating position is not that bad. It's not uncomfortable. The seat on here is set up for just a solo person. You can get an accessory 2-up seat with some passenger foot pegs, but just riding a solo on the street for doing the more aggressive canyon type riding that this bike is meant to do, it's going to be really good. One of the only detriments I found to the seating position on the Thruxton is going to be the tank cutouts here. They look beautiful, but in reality the positioning, and this is just the regular seating that I was riding with today, is it places my knee, the inside of my knee, right here at the bottom of this cutout, and it's just uncomfortable. for me to get away from that, I had to scoop my butt way back in the seat, which just felt really unnatural. So I'm, much more spread out like that. So to be in the standard seating position, it was there. A little bit of form over function for Triumph, but maybe we'll let them slide on that one. In the engine department, it also has a lighter flywheel. So this thing picks up revs a lot quicker than the standard Bonneville motor. Probably the other biggest drawback that I found today was just a little bit of throttle abruptness from off to on. Same thing happened in the standard Bonneville. And on this bike, you're going to probably be whipping it up through the twisties so much that you're not going to pay much attention to it anyways. You can actually get like a kind of like race kit version for it, and it'll come with like the fairing and some other stuff, or you can just do it yourself piece by piece. Actually, Triumph's going to have a race kit, a real race kit that makes it non-street legal. If you actually want to, make a nice track day machine out of this, that's going to be available pretty soon. I don't have a price on that right now. Go to the Triumph website, check it out. And from what I've heard, these guys are actually sold out through July already. So if you're wanting one, it's something you think you might want to get into, you better go down to the dealership and put your deposit on it right now.